What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two.
Hello and welcome back to Ntanzi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about
the Senzo Meyiwa trial.
The trial. Right? Greetings.
Yes.
You know what to do, guys. Press the like button. We are here.
Yeah.
And we can tell.
I feel better.
You guys are just these days. Some of you have taken leave. You no longer watch the case, but it's okay. We are here. We will fill in the missing words for those who
that
are still here.
Interested.
That is the main aim. The aim was never about the numbers. The aim was about making sure that people that killed Senzo are accountable for that.
And to also follow the trial and the proceedings and the details so that whatever happens, got judgment.
Yeah.
We kind of can put the pieces together and we're not in shock. Because I know a lot of people are waiting to be shocked and traumatized when the judgment is being handed out or when a conviction is being said. We need to follow. We need to understand what's happening in South Africa. I feel like this trial alone is setting the benchmark of all the chaos within the police, within the government services, the state bodies that we've always kind of suspected that kukhona into off. Now this case is just showing it in 3D. And look at Madlanga Commission. Did you see, Mr. Anonymous? There was one very interesting witness from IPIT today. It's a lady by the name of Nomsama Suku.
I didn't watch it. I was busy today.
Well, she is working with AVL at IPIT, tracking the police officers who complaints have been launched with regards to them. So she looks at the tracking, she tracks the cars, she pulls the AVL systems from the vehicles to establish whether they were what they said that they were and investigates them like that thoroughly. Although I do fear for her life now, because looking at what has been happening, bodies dropping there by that commission, I pray that God covers her with safety and that she's able to execute her job thoroughly without fear or favor, because
she doesn't know anything.
Psychos.
She's not gonna die.
There are psychos out there who just want to cover their tracks and by all means necessary.
She's not gonna die. She doesn't know anything.
So now she was explaining about how AVL works and what she does with it and how she pulled it. And it had me thinking about what's happening even with Senzo's case, that there are vehicles that are said that the AVL is not there. How can there not be AVLs in state vehicles? Does this mean that the accused will also need to go and launch some type of complaints with IPID or what?
IPID.
Maybe that can facilitate the process of bringing forth those AVLs, because it's
if you are lucky, yes, it will do that. But if you are not lucky, it won't do that, because you see, in South Africa, it depends on who you are.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so if you are lucky, it will bring that. If you are not lucky, it will not bring that. There's a video I saw of a man also complaining about Kinenda. And I hope that for some weird reason, these are things that IPIT should take serious. You know, they should find that man if really they investigate this police. I mean, they should find that man and investigate properly, protect that man and investigate properly. But hey, in South Africa is hard. They're failing to protect their own police. They are failing to protect their own police. Oh, and there was Sona today. Yeah, for those who are interested, I'm sure you'll find the videos of the Sona there. If we still have economists that are willing to analyze exactly what is going to happen. It's hard though to analyze this one, even if you're an economist, because the promises are just empty normally.
Vague, empty, no substance, just words. He's just
It's a matter of gaslighting now and then.
Making some people angry while you make some people happy,
Yeah.
or put on the band-aid for 2 seconds so that everybody cannot see that you are as incompetent as it can ever be. But let's just leave it. Oh God, Sona. Ooh. I'm good.
There were times where we used to be glued on TV because of Sona, because of the modules we were studying.
Yes.
Very interesting days where infrastructure was moving. We'd analyze
we'd be taught how to analyze, what to predict, what was being said with regards to what was going to happen in the economy. And then in a month's time, we'd also look forward to the budget speech. You understand? And we knew that we were going to be assessed on that. So we will watch and we would analyze the activities of the economy and what was going to happen and be able to predict some of the things. But now, it's like a political rally. Like it's chaotic now. It doesn't make sense anymore. It just speaks also to the caliber of leadership that we have right now leading the country. It's just chaotic. It's a mess. They need to get themselves together.
Or they need to get out. Right?
They won't get out. But they at least pretend like you know what you're doing. Pretend. But no, we have to be gaslit every 5 seconds.
Okay.
Did you even see the water issue?
Oh, the Panyaza issue. Nothing surprises me in South Africa.
The tone deafness of it all.
No, but I'm not gonna fly with that narrative on my own.
And then also, did you hear about that company that wants to privatize water?
Under Cyril is possible.
There's a company coming for water, guys.
Under Cyril is possible. I wouldn't be surprised.
So even this water thing, it has the same symptoms of load shedding.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They want to privatize water.
They can do as they wish. We're
gonna be paying for air very soon to breathe. Let's resume with Senzo's case. This is why I don't like talking about these things. They stress me out. I don't like it. And the fact that sometimes it feels like you're being gaslit as well, because some people are in their comfort zone and la la land, and they're like, oh, you're such a, what do they call it, conspiracy theorist?
I just don't know, man. I don't want to talk about these things. I mean, we have fools in South Africa. A lot of fools.
It's tiring, guys.
A lot of fools.
Magabon gutwenza njani.
Yeah.
Hi. Survival of the fittest.
I can't, man. I can't. You know, I can't.
It's exhausting.
I can't.
It's exhausting.
You know, discussing the issue of, discussing the issue of Senzo, general with people. That's when you realize that I'm sorry to say this, but
For me, now this case has helped me It has helped me a
Aye,
lot to
kumnyama
see
kwabanye
what's
abantu.
going on in this country. I was a person who avoided these things, who avoided politics, who avoided stuff, who avoided these types of things.
I'm tired of speaking about politics.
They
It
stressed
just
me
drains
out.
the hell out of
Yes,
me. I'm tired.
But Senzo's case
I just wanna.
has helped bring forth things that we didn't have a clue of that were happening in this country. So now we will soldier on and keep talking about it. Senzo's case is very important. South Africans should be really looking at this case, not take it lightly.
Let's talk about it. I'm tired of this.
Well, Ramasepeli resumed with his cross-examination of Ntanzi, and Ntanzi actually, before he could Ramasepeli could start, he made a request to go back to the events of the 17th of June 2020. Now, he said that on the 17th, because he is a person who sometimes forgets and then he will remember again, you have to take into account that these things happened to him 6 years ago now in counting, right? So some of the stuff he will recall and some of them not so much, and then he will sleep on it and actually remember, oh my God, this happened, which is what happened here. He remembered that at the time that he went back to Rustenburg, wet. After he was assaulted by Moroka police station there at that open field. He said because he remembers even at Rustenburg, they never
Assaulted
took him
by
out of
Moroka
the
station.
car. Moroka police station. They took him by Moroka police station to that open field.
So after being assaulted by them there.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they had assaulted him and poured water on him, and they were even burning him with that thing. I think it was a taser. But he said with whatever they were burning him with, because he doesn't even know what it is that they were using to torture him. Even this man with braces, who he later found out was Bongani Yende, he was also there, and he also went with him to Rustenburg. Now Ramasepeli
Bongani
then
Yende was
said-
also there for accused number one.
The person who spoke about him
Is
the most was
Makosonke.
And also, even with accused number one, there's a point where he mentions this Bongani, and in fact he's the one who called out the name, because I don't think Ntanzi first.
Well,
could
isn't
remember
it the
the
same
name.
year that they denied it existed?
Yes, it was accused number one who brought up the full name Bongani Yende. Remember? Yes, they had, because Ntanzi had called him Bongani, he didn't know his surname. And then the police officers denied him ever being there. Even Kinida said he doesn't know him. They didn't know him. They didn't talk about him. They didn't know him. They didn't know what Ntanzi was talking about. And then accused number one later now remembers that, oh, that guy was Bongani Yende, and put it on record that guy was actually Bongani Yende. I saw him. He was there throughout my arrest as well. And then Makosonke also spoke about him. So that's very interesting. The fact that they denied his existence.
Listening to that video of that guy, I'm not surprised. I must say I'm not surprised. I think it is not surprising how he was made to point at Cronje. They beat the hell out of him. They come back. They pretend as if they are here to help him because he was beaten by the police. And then they come back and say, you were beaten. We are going to deal with those police. You must come and point at them. And the guy thinks he's pointing at the police and he's pointing at the relevant Cronje. And guess who the guy said he was there? Gininda came. Gininda is the one who came. The same strategy. So they came, they moored him.
Different police officers.
They said they were looking for his brother and all that. And then after that, he couldn't see them. they put what do you call it?
Paraclavas.
On him. He couldn't see them. They poured water on him, hot water. He was peeling here in the face. And then later on, when he was chilling, forget about these things, didn't do anything about it. The police called and said, hey, Chief, we kind of have information that you were assaulted by this police. We have gotten them. We're dealing with them. Come and point at them. And Uti, the person who poured water on him, was a white guy. So that's how they got him to point at Cronje. Because he didn't know the person that poured. He saw that is white, but he couldn't. He said,
And
I could not point at him.
Cronje was standing co-accused with police officers. So I kind of feel how he could have been tricked into believing that Cronje was the police officer who tortured him, because he was co-accused with other police officers.
So the guy, because he didn't take a good look of these people, he said, I could not point at these people. They said, don't worry. They showed him the picture. The same stuff. I'm telling you, this is not a new thing. These people have been fine-tuning their skills, in my opinion, on how to
do. They happen to get away with this case as well, more people are going to suffer. That's all I'm saying. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. This will be like a sign off for them that you can continue doing this thing of yours.
So anyone can just be arrested and you become a witness by fire, by force.
And he spoke of 3 million as well. He said that they offered him 3 million. Interesting things.
The way they are moving, the way they are moving,
Abongani bakapoli.
But dangerous. If that is how they move. Well, that's what we are gonna say, because we need to keep on alleging. Yeah, but we don't. I'm not. I don't have any problem with criminals being arrested. But are you saying they've outsmarted you to such an extent that you cannot catch them, so you had to lie?
Ngikumbula Mkhwanazi making or explaining that scenario of an official who they wanted to arrest, these police officers that came from Gauteng and wanted to arrest the correctional facility head there at Mpangeni. And he was like, no, how are you executioning this arrest by saying that you found, was it ammunition in a dustbin outside? You're not even sure whether this belonged to the person that you're arresting or not, but you're arresting them. So this thing is going to bite back now when it comes that there was no proper procedure done to find out whether that plastic belonged to that woman or not. And it sounded somehow to people who want Mkhwanazi to go down, or they believe that he's not a saint. Besides that, but that's a logical thing that a police officer should know, that I should have evidence before I arrest a person. What is this thing in South Africa where police just arrest people and they don't even have evidence against them? You investigate after arresting a person. So you are kidnapping a person first, and then you want to conduct your investigations by forcing this person to confess. What are they confessing to? Because you failed to do your job. And then there's also the audio of Advocate Chauke saying those police, they must do proper things. They must go back to the people in the house. So instead of going back to the people in the house, what do they decide to do? No, we're going to look for other people, and then we're going to arrest them and make some kind of charges, and then keep them for months and months and months, and then finally charge them in October. What the hell?
All I can say is that I think I can understand Mkhwanazi's frustration. There is indeed. There is indeed a cartel.
Wow.
In my opinion.
So now we must be scared when we see police. We must
Run
take
for your
out our
life.
phones and record and go live on Facebook and be like, oh my God, should anything happen, the police were here. That's how we must behave now, because this is scary. Hearing Ntanzi and Sbia and also Makosonke and Gwabini's testimonies, this is scary. This is some scary-ish. It's scary, and it's like the less educated you are, the less moneyed you are, the less understanding of your rights, how they are going to have a field day with you. And let's say maybe you do know your rights, but because there's nobody around you who can become a witness as to what happened, maybe you will disappear and not be seen again. By the way, there's a story of a man who that has happened to under EMPD. There is a case that has just happened that is like that. They arrested this man in the middle of the night, and he was never seen again. So it's something else. We cannot be comfortable with this. This is not comfortable at all. So he said that even this man with braces, who he later found out to be Bonganiende, was also there. He also went with him to Rustenburg. And Ramasipile asked him, Mr. Ntanzi, as you say, these matters and events took place a long time ago, and memory obviously fades with time. And if I may correct you, you may perhaps be correct, but regarding the contents of what you're saying, that you were taken to Rustenburg on the 19th of June 2020, it's not on the 17th. It was on the 19th of June. And then Baloyi objected at this point, and he said, my lord, we think this is leading. The witnesses clearly said that the incident that he's testifying about now occurred on the 17th of June 2020. Well, Ramasipili withdrew his statement. And then Ntanzi said, what I'm talking about is the date I went to Rustenburg and was charged with ammunition. It was on the 19th when my house was searched at Freedom Park. So that's Ntanzi correcting the date there, that it wasn't the 17th, it was actually the 19th. Well, the judge said, sorry, Mr. Ramasipili, you are leading this gentleman in his defense. You know you're not supposed to cross-examine him. You know that. And Ramasipili said, it's fine, I'm withdrawing it. And then Ramasipili faced Ntanzi now and said, let's go back to the events of the 19th, where you say you were taken to a place where Sergeant Mohola and Brigadier Kininda arrived. You were questioned by Colonel Rapadu to say you don't want to tell the truth. You were saying that Colonel Rapadu was particularly speaking to you. In what language was he speaking to you? And Ntanzi said they were speaking this particular language that he speaks, although it was not proper Zulu that he was speaking, but he was able to detect that he got the language from wherever it is that he was able to grab the language, from wherever he took it from, which means his Zulu was more was not refined. It was he spoke like someone who is trying to speak their language. And then Ramasipili said, and you also stated that as he is questioning you and you are denying your alleged involvement in the Senzo Meyiwa killing, he then said to you, if you don't want to speak the truth, I will let them kill you, or something to that effect. And Ntanzi said, yes, he said it. Highlight that. Yes, he said it. Again, yes, he said it. I'm highlighting it because Baloyi did a number today. I was not impressed. He said he will allow them to keep beating me and continue to do whatever they were doing to me. So then Ramasipili said, are these his exact words? Or he said something to that effect. And then Ntanzi said, those are the words. Even though I was not listening to one person at a time. When another person would speak, the other one would say, Kuluma man, talk. Tell the senior police officer the truth. And then he would say, I would not know who to respond to and who not to respond to. So then Ramasipili said, you remember yesterday you said you have fixed a fingerprint, signature and initials on the documents within the context of what you say. Kena Rapadu said, if you don't tell the truth, I will let them continue to assault you and perhaps until you are killed. Were you forced or compelled or pressurized? Just before he could finish asking that question, Baloyi objected and said, once again, we are constrained to counsel leading and putting words in the witness's mouth. This is a very serious accusation, in my opinion. It is messing with Ramasipili so bad. It is making him look like he's a lawyer who put words in witnesses' mouths when that's not what happened and that's not what he did. I don't understand this character attacking, especially of a learned colleague, where he wants to make him look like he's incompetent and does not know how to do his job. It's below the belt. Completely unprofessional and quite desperate, if you ask me. So he said the witness clearly said that he told him that Kena Rapadu said if you don't tell the truth, he will let them continue to assault you, and he never mentioned anything about killing, but counsel now say they'll assault you possibly until they kill you. That is not what the witness said, but he did say it yesterday. Does it count out because he didn't say it?
Did Ramasipili say withdraw that again?
No, he did not.
Okay, that's it. That's fine.
But I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed at this whole situation of trying to...
You cannot deny a person from objecting. It's their right.
No, he can object, but you cannot make up a lie by saying that he's putting words in his mouth when that's not what he did. Is totally...
That's what that court is all about.
So when the same is done to him, the judge jumps and gets a high and just starts saying, what are you saying about your learned colleague? What are you saying? Are you saying Mr. Baloyi is not professional? When he's done very much questionable things, the judge will come to his defense and defend him. But now to accuse Ramasipili of putting words into the witness's mouth, now that is totally out of pocket. Well then, in my opinion, I just felt like Baloyi was also he was trying to hit two birds with one stone, actively change Ntanzi's evidence and also discredit Ramasipili's work at the same time. To be accused of leading a witness on record, not once, not twice. He was on a mission in the morning. He did it, I think, 3 times, saying he's putting the words in the witness's mouth.
Look, if we dwell on that, it's not gonna. It's